It's back-to-back wins for them. They beat Westmeath, a plucky Westmeath, I might add, 120 to 17 points at Cusack Park in Mullingar. It was only when Donnacha Ó Dálaigh hit the back of the net in the 63rd minute that you really felt that Limerick had finally put Westmeath to bed. A good performance by Joe Fortune's men, but realistically, this was a game that they were never going to win. But they'd still be happy enough with the result.
Well, genuinely think so, yeah. And the fact I think they were a point to hit or a point, it was a point either way at half time. And I think Westmeath were definitely in the game. And as you mentioned there with Donnacha Ó Dálaigh getting the goal, he got 1-4 overall today. Very good performance. But Westmeath should be very proud of themselves because, like, you look at the likes of the Carlos, the Offaly's, every time they come up against a Limerick, any other Munster team like a Clare, Cork, Tipperary, or Kilkenny, or Galway, they ultimately think defeat. But for Westmeath today, it was all about pride. They definitely showed it all today. They deserve something out of the game in many ways. And I know it's only a Limerick second team with the likes of Adam English there, Shane O'Brien, and Donnacha Ó Dálaigh. There are some very good players there, but obviously not the main players that we're accustomed to, the likes of Garrod Hagerty, Aaron Galán, all them. But for Westmeath to put up a performance against the younger generation of this Limerick team, I think it's absolutely brilliant for them. And it will give them a lot of positivity going into the Joe McDonagh Cup. And what I will say about the Joe McDonagh Cup, we don't talk about it often on podcasts, but I think it's going to be very interesting this year. Laois have some good players back now. You have Westmeath there, who put up a good performance today. Offaly, who we mentioned previously in the chat. I think Joe McDonagh is going to be very, very interesting this year. And it's going to be, in many ways, a bear pit.
No, 100% will be. And like, this is what we were talking about when we were talking about with the development of Helen. Joe McDonagh is a fantastic example of how you can improve the standard of these teams, because the John McDonagh used to be like a yo-yo competition that you go down, you come straight back up the following year. Laois went down, they haven't come back up yet. Offaly went down, they haven't come back up yet. And like, it's one of those things where, you know, Westmeath went down. I don't know if they're going to come straight back up, because Offaly have, you know, taken giant step forward. And like, as we said, they showed serious promise against Wexford for what they're capable of this year. Like, that just is it. Maybe Wexford can't hack it against the John McDonagh teams. Imagine if Wexford were in the John McDonagh. Things like that. But yeah, no, like, it is one of those things where Westmeath will take great pride from that performance. They really, really went toe-to-toe with Limerick for long periods. And the one thing is that we were talking about is, as Limerick chase down history this year, the backup that they have is always crucial. Like last year, you know, the performances of Cathal O'Neill, of David Reedy, like performances like that have been massive in getting them over the line in one-off games. Like, for example, the Cork game, like Cathal O'Neill was fantastic in that game. This year, there is that feeling that, again, if they get an injury like a Garrod Hegarty or a Diarmuid Burns, if one of them gets injured, they need their backup lads to be locked, loaded and ready to go. You've mentioned about their forwards, Donnacha Ó Dálaigh with 1-4 there in that game. Like Sean O'Brien and Adam English combined with Ó Dálaigh in the game previous against Antrim, they hit 122 combined. And like, you've got Colin Coughlin there, who's been waiting for a shot now for a few years. All in all, Limerick's backup, if they're called upon, do you think they're ready?
And the thing is, as well, there was news coming out recently that Tom Clancy said after the game, John Coyley actually told him this, Sean Finn's going to be back in the next few weeks. And the thing is, you wouldn't have noticed Sean Finn was gone in that order to win last year. So that epitomised talent in the Limerick panel there, and in midfield as well. Like Will O'Donoghue, Darragh O'Donovan, not there. Okay, someone else could drop back into midfield. Ciaran Lynch could go into midfield. Carl O'Neill could go centre forward. Like, there's a lot of things John Coyley could do with the team as well. And I think it's brilliant in many ways for them. Like, Adam English is performing absolutely brilliantly in the Fitzgibbon Cup. So is Shane O'Brien from Mary I. And Donnacha Ó Dálaigh, as you mentioned there, with 1-4. Like, there are some very good players. Seamus Flanagan still to come back in. You have Aaron Galán. You have Tom Morrissey. Like, David Reedy. Excellent performing coming off the bench as well. Like, the squad numbers out of this Limerick team is absolutely incredible in its own right. And even without the main men, they're still getting wins. I know it was only tied against Westmeath, but we have to give Westmeath a lot of credit today. That was an outstanding performance from them for their standards. But for Limerick, I think they're definitely on the road for 5 in a row with the players coming through as well. And as you mentioned there, Cathal O'Neill's performance against Cork was absolutely outstanding last year. And the fact that the likes of Garrod Hegarty and Ciaran Lynch didn't have their best years last season, but still they got over the line in these games, shows the quality that they have in this Limerick team as well. And even in the full back line, like Dan Morrissey, if you go into full back, he can easily go number 7. Like you have Mike Casey there, who could easily go into full back. Like, there's a lot of manoeuvre around the Limerick team as well, and that's brilliant to see too.
Yeah, no question about it. As I said, I personally think they're the greatest Ireland team of all time. It's not recency bias. It's a lot harder to get out of that Munster Championship than it was to get out of the Leinster Championship that Kilkenny had in the late 2000s. You cannot change my mind on that. It's just a fact. But anyway, we have discussed all of the 6 games. League Sunday as well was on, so I've no doubt, Matthew, you'll watch that as well. I'm going to watch that as soon as we're done this pod here. But yeah, it's been an absolute pleasure again, Matthew. Thanks to anyone who tuned in to the episode. 1 hour and 15 minutes again in the books. Don't forget to watch Social Media Reacts tomorrow as well, where we look at all the content about the social media world of the GAA. And yeah, guys, until that next episode, take care.